tips for parents on how to help their kids. Your news starts now.
Now from Arkansas's News and Information Center, this is THV 11 News at 5.
We begin tonight with team coverage as the search for a missing real estate agent continues in Arkansas. Good evening and thank you for watching. I'm Dawn Scott.
And I'm Denise Middleton. The man police believe is responsible for the disappearance of Beverly Carter is in custody.
THV11's Macy Jenkins is in Scott, Arkansas tonight as the search continues for Carter. And Dan Grossman is in Little Rock covering the investigation into Arron Lewis.
And THV11's Phil Buck is in West Little Rock where Lewis was captured this morning. And Phil, how were police able to track him down?
Well, it was not one, but a handful of alert people who spotted and recognized Lewis earlier this morning from that picture that was released by authorities last night. And then they acted quickly, saying that they did not want him to get away for the second time in as many days.
911. Hey, I'm sitting over here. They're looking for a guy here that was involved in the realtor being kidnapped. And this guy looks like him. And he is nervous, and he's out here at a bus stop.
The call came in just before 9:45 Monday morning when multiple people spotted Lewis near the Green Mountain Plaza in West Little Rock.
All right, we'll get someone out there. Okay, now I had a guy walk out there and talk to him. I just went out there to see, and he says they think it's him.
Everybody started looking, so I walked outside and asked the gentleman. I said, hey, what time's the bus run? Because he was kind of walking around the bus stop, and he said, I think in about 30 minutes. I said, okay, I appreciate it. And I walked back inside, and, I said, if you haven't called 911, do so. That's him. And we all just kind of watched him kind of mingle around the parking lot of the shopping center here for a few minutes, and then apparently he got spooked at some point.
That's when, according to police, Lewis ran to the Pleasant Point apartment complex across the street, where he burst into the manager's office and jumped out a window before officers caught up with him.
He went into the office, jumped out a second window, and that's when they apprehended him on the ground. But when they apprehended, I was kind of relieved, around here, a bunch of kids playing. So I was relieved after they apprehended him.
Now, Waters, the mortgage broker who actually went outside and spoke face-to-face with Lewis earlier today, said just by sheer coincidence, he's actually worked with Beverly Carter on real estate deals in the past. And I asked him about that connection. We'll tell you what he had to say coming up in our 6:30 broadcast.
All right, Phil, thank you for that update. Well, today, hundreds of volunteers went to Scott to continue the search for Beverly.
Our own Macy Jenkins has been there all day, and she joins us more with the search efforts today. Macy, what's the latest?
Some of the volunteers, guys, have been out here since Saturday searching for anything that would give them an indication of what happened to Beverly Carter.
She's our rock. She's the center of our family, and we just want her back.
Anxiety and frustration surround the Carter family Monday. Beverly Carter's son, Carl Carter Jr., keeping his head high and heart hopeful during the continued search for his mother.
We now have the one guy that knows exactly where she is, and I believe that we will get those answers.
Monday morning, police arrested Arron Michael Lewis, who they believe kidnapped Carter on Thursday night.
I just want to say to that man, just please give the officers the information they need to know. That's all I can ask him.
But even with Lewis in custody, the search has not slowed down.
Nothing's changed for us. We're looking for Beverly.
Over the last few days of searching, officials say they've had great cooperation from neighbors and homeowners in the area. Altogether, they've searched 20 square miles of land. 4 different counties have sent backup to help with the search, and local volunteers are still searching by horse, foot, and ATV.
If we need to search an area, go somewhere, support them, that's what we're here for.
I hope and pray to God that she's not dead, but I don't know reality, but I'm believing in God that she's going to be all right.
I've been out here all day speaking with the family, waiting for any updates from police. There's no word on what Lewis has to say yet, but the search has expanded to Lonoke County. We'll have more details on that search coming up tonight at 6. Reporting live in North Little Rock, Macy Jenkins, THV11 News.
All right, Macy, thank you. Lewis has been in custody since he was caught at 10 o'clock this morning.
Deputies at the Pulaski County Sheriff's Office are holding him at their unit for questioning. THV11's Dan Grossman has been following this investigation closely. And Dan, what can you tell us right now?
Dawn and Denise, he has been here at the Pulaski County Sheriff's Office since just before noon this morning, but the sheriffs aren't releasing any information about that interrogation, saying they want to wait until the interrogation process is over to release any details. But this isn't Arron Lewis's first run-in with the law.
We will have him here for as long as we need to determine what we can from him.
In 5 hours since Sheriff Doc Holliday spoke those words, 33-year-old Arron Lewis is still in custody, being questioned for his role in the disappearance of 51-year-old Beverly Carter.
He is an individual facing some very serious charges. We will have to see how cooperative he is as the day progresses.
Right now, those charges are only for kidnapping, but could escalate depending on what investigators find.
Suspects don't always want to cooperate.
And Lewis is a familiar face with law enforcement. He has been arrested multiple times in Arkansas for nonviolent crimes, including once in Missouri and also in Utah for robbery. Before he was arrested Monday morning, Carter was out on parole for a theft crime he committed in 2010. He was sentenced to 6 years in prison, but was released on parole last August for good behavior. But now he's back in the arms of authorities as they work to piece together today information to find Beverly Carter.
The fact is, at this point, we don't know where she is. She could be anywhere, and it's our job to find her, get her back to her family.
And now deputies have not given an estimate as to when the questioning and interrogation process will be over. They say it all depends on how cooperative he is. Arron Lewis is being held on $1 million bond. Reporting live in Little Rock, Dan Grossman, THV11 News.
All right, Dan, thank you. And here is a look at what has happened since Beverly Carter was first reported missing. Thursday night, September 25th, Beverly's husband, Carl Carter, told deputies he went to a home his wife was showing around 9 p.m. because he'd not heard from her. Well, when he found just her car and her purse at the home, he called police.
Now, Friday, the 26th, Pulaski County deputies shared with the media that crews were searching for Carter. That day, Carter's husband told THV11 he received 3 texts around 1 a.m. saying things like, "My battery died and I'm out drinking with friends." But he told us that's not like Beverly.
Well, Saturday the 27th, more than 250 volunteers helped search for Carter in Scott. They searched areas near Old River Road, Interstate 30, and Highway 161.
Sunday, the search continued for Beverly. Around 6 p.m., deputies issued an arrest warrant for Arron Michael Lewis on a kidnapping charge.
Well, deputies say he was in a car accident Sunday morning and was taken to Baptist Hospital for treatment. That is where he disappeared. Deputies say Lewis was already a person of interest, but they weren't able to get an arrest warrant until he already left the hospital.
Now, around 10 this morning, Little Rock police arrested Lewis on Green Mountain Drive. Today, crews continue to search for Beverly. You can find this full timeline of events on THV11.com.
Feels hot today. Wondering if we can expect any more fall-like weather.
I hope so. Well, for that, we send things out to the Weather Guard with Chief Meteorologist Ed Buckner. Hey, Ed.
Hey, y'all. You know, we're going to have more fall-like weather, but it's not going to happen until Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I guess that's kind of perfect timing if you're looking for a weekend with fall football and fall temperatures. It's going to be very nice. Until then, more summer-like weather to talk about. Right now, there's a nice breeze in the weather garden, lots of sunshine, and warm temperatures. 87 here, 84 in Stuttgart, 85 in Hot Springs. Look at Batesville, 90. Same thing down in Camden, 90. And there were even warmer temperatures today, lower 90s in some of those locations for high temperatures. We're looking for a low tonight of 62 with mainly clear skies. Tomorrow, partly cloudy and 88. So, yeah, we're running about 8-9 degrees above average. It's not going to last for that much longer. Your forecast is coming up.
All right, Ed, thank you. Other headlines today. A Catholic priest serving in Yell County has been removed by the Arkansas Diocese for sexual misconduct. Bishop Anthony Taylor spoke at Mass yesterday at 3 churches in Russellville, Dardanelle, and Danville, saying Father James Melnick had been removed from the ministry. The bishop says they had verified multiple adult victims and that Melnick admitted to the incidents. Bosco's Restaurant and Brewing Company in the River Market closed over the weekend. The president of Bosco's, Jeremy Feinstone, confirmed it. He says the company is in talks with a few parties interested in taking over the lease. That transition should take place sometime in October, he says. No new tenant, though, has been confirmed at this point.
Well, distracted driving is a big concern to a Central Arkansas traffic enforcement group. To reduce the number of fatal crashes, the Central Arkansas group has been conducting a distracted driving mobilization that started on September 22nd and ends tomorrow. They're using marked and unmarked cars to identify drivers guilty of distracted driving and will issue them a violation citation. Arkansas State Police says so far they've given out 11 citations. The Arkansas State Highway and Transportation Department has scheduled a public hearing in Conway on plans to relocate Highway 25 and expand it to 5 lanes. The work will extend north from exit 124 on Interstate 40 to existing Highway 25 just west of Beaver Fork Lake. The meeting is set for tomorrow at 4 p.m. at the Conway Parks and Recreation. Well, on a lighter note, this could be the transportation of the future. One-wheeled wonders can go 12 miles per hour and have a range of 28 miles.
Mailmen in Britain trying out the electric unicycles, and commuters are using them too. They're portable, cheap to run, and fun to ride. With that, we'll head off to a break. National and world news still to come, and your full forecast. Stay tuned.
Thanks for watching THV11.
It's a new NFL football season, and the highlights start here with the game-changing GMC Sierra featuring the most fuel-efficient gas V8 pickup engine ever. Get into the game at GMC's kickoff event. Kick off the season right and use your special value pricing to get over $8,300 total value on this specially equipped Sierra. Plus, get 1 year of Sirius XM, including every NFL game. See your Arkansas Select Buick GMC dealer.
Get weather information where you want it, when you need it, with THV11 Weather Nation, the best local coverage from THV11.
And coast-to-coast coverage from the Weather Nation team. On air on 11.2 and on cable providers in Little Rock, Conway, Pine Bluff, and Hot Springs.
I'm Patrick Henry Hayes, and I approve this message.
It was French Hill's best investment. French Hill and his fellow bank executives donated thousands of dollars to State Treasurer Martha Schaffner. It paid off big time. Schaffner directed 700 million tax dollars to French Hill's bank. Schaffner was convicted on 14 counts of bribery and extortion and forced to resign. But French Hill's bank got to keep the money. French Hill, getting rich with your money.
Give them the old razzle-dazzle with Car Tie and All That Jazz. An evening of hot music and roof-raising fun. Presented by BHP Billiton on Sunday, October 5th at Next Level Events. All proceeds benefit Arkansas pediatric cancer patients. Visit cartie.com.
This sandwich is 2 things in one. On the outside, a sweet, fluffy King's Hawaiian bun. On the inside is savory brisket from Texas, smoked with hickory wood for at least 13 hours. Hawaii and Texas, sweet and savory. Mahalo, y'all. Aloha, cowboy. Arby's, we have the meat.
There's a lot of negativity in politics these days, so I thought you'd be ready for something a little different. Like what I'll do as governor. Arkansans pay the highest income taxes in the region. Let's lower them. Put computer science in every high school and demand high expectations and choice. Give our workers the training they need to compete and stand up every day to Washington's overreaching regulations. I'm Asa Hutchinson. As governor, we'll hit the ground running and never look back.
Out in the weather garden, we've got mainly clear skies, just a beautiful evening, a little bit of a breeze, but temperatures warm. Even though the temperatures, though, are warm, the humidity levels are still not that bad, so it still kind of feels like fall, kind of still feels like summer. I know a lot of people are kind of going, I wish it would cool down, or I wish it would warm up, whatever your favorite is. I'm kind of looking forward to the cool air that's coming in this weekend. Until then, though, more of the same. Very warm air in place over the next couple of days. Here's a look outside. If we can, take a look at Conway. Mainly clear skies. A couple of cumulus clouds there off in the distance. Still very, very nice. High pressure continues to hold firm across the state, allowing only just a couple of clouds from time to time. All right, here's what this looks like on the satellite view, and you can see what I'm talking about. Big ridge of high pressure right through here, keeping the clouds and the showers pushing down toward the Gulf Coast. And, you know, it's still not bad. Even if you go back toward Tennessee and parts of Georgia, Alabama, and Mississippi, it's a beautiful evening, a very nice late September kind of day. Out in Texas, not much going on either, so the high pressure really holding firm. Other than a couple of spotty showers down across Louisiana, there's not much close to us going on. Nothing really going on close to us. Dew point numbers, well, they've come up a bit over the past couple of days. They've kind of been hovering in the 50s and 40s for most of the area. 54 is the dew point right now, 58 in Searcy, 56 in Mountain Home. So what that tells me, what that tells you, is that the humidity levels are still in check. Anything over 60 gets to be a little bit more muggy, and Stuttgart's dew point's at 61, so there's a little bit of humidity there, also over in Mena, but for the rest of us, it's not looking too bad. Very fall-like. It's just the temperature is just a little bit too warm. 89 ended up being our high today, 63 the low. Both of these numbers are above the averages. You see, we should be at 81, so 8 degrees above average. 89 the high, also north of the river today. Our yearly rainfall surplus continues to dwindle. 4.67 inches above average right now. We haven't had any rain in the past several days. Not going to have any rain until maybe Thursday, when we could use a little bit. 87 currently, partly cloudy, dew point 54. Humidity 32% with an east wind at 8, so it feels pretty nice outside. Around the state, mainly 80s. It's still 90 though in Batesville, 90 in Camden, 81 though in Mena, 85 in Hot Springs. Tonight we'll see lows down into the middle and lower 60s. 60 in Stuttgart, 61 Benton, 63 Conway. 59 in Clinton, and then tomorrow we'll see highs back up into the 80s, middle and upper 80s. I think this model might be a couple of degrees cooler than what it will be. I bet Benton reaches 88 tomorrow. Arkadelphia could reach 90, so I'm thinking a little bit warmer than what that number is showing. 62 tonight, partly cloudy. I'm going 88 tomorrow in Little Rock, partly cloudy skies. And your extended outlook shows another warm day on Wednesday before the rain chances come in Thursday. That's going to be a pretty strong fall front. As we usher in October, we should see cooler weather by the weekend. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Get THV weather and Ed Buckner's forecast on 94.9 Tom FM. We play it all.
This new waffle cone is more like an actual sundae.
Yeah, it's like a Sunday.
Yeah, and a waffle cone. Was that too much?
No, I like it.
Go big. The new waffle cone sundaes with real ice cream and premium toppings. This is how you Sonic.
I'm Mark Pryor, and I approve this message.
They walked in 2 weeks before Christmas and said this plant is closed.
It pretty much killed this town.
Now, these same New York billionaires are backing Tom Cotton with big, expensive TV ads attacking Mark Pryor.
No wonder Cotton promised to protect their special tax breaks for moving factories and jobs overseas.
Nobody should be able to buy a Senate seat.
Nobody.
I don't know that I can trust Tom Cotton.
I'm outside. Where are you? I'm right here. I'm in the Buick. I don't see a Buick. Oh, got it.
The expectation-shattering Buick Encore.
Wow. Celebrate the new NCAA football season and get 0% financing for 60 months or $1,750 total allowance on the 2014 Encore. See your Arkansas Select Buick GMC dealer.
Tim Griffin, nearly 20 years in Washington. His record on jobs? Griffin voted against tax cuts for local jobs. Griffin even voted for tax breaks for companies shipping jobs overseas, while voting against job training our workers need.
Politicians like Tim Griffin just don't get it. I've been a small businessman my whole life, creating jobs and helping Governor Beebe recruit major employers. It's time for career politicians to get out of the way so Arkansas can thrive.
Sometimes the best night out is a fancy night in. Home-baked Papa Murphy's 2 new gourmet delights with grown-up ingredients on a crispy thin crust. Just $10 each. Fresh made, fresh baked, fresh gourmet. Papa Murphy's. Love at 425 degrees.
Calvin, you still hear me?
CBS Tonight.
We are in the sub.
NCIS LA returns on its new Night in Time.
It's a giant underwater bomb.
They have orders to destroy on contact.
We got a flood.
we do?
Pray.
NCISLA premieres on its new night and time. CBS tonight, 10/9 Central.
Welcome back. In the fight against ISIS in Iraq and Syria, Americans support U.S.-led airstrikes but oppose sending troops on the ground. According to a CNN poll, the majority of 73% surveyed favor the military airstrikes, while 24% oppose. Now, 60% are against sending troops into combat operations against ISIS, but most feel it's likely the U.S. will eventually call in ground troops. Nearly 45% think ISIS poses a very serious threat to the U.S. The Federal Aviation Administration is launching an internal review following an air traffic control center fire that disrupted travel across the country. USA Today reports the FAA and union will go over safety and security protocols as part of the 30-day review. Hundreds of flights have been canceled since Friday after authorities say a contract worker set fire to an air traffic control tower outside Chicago. 23 deaths have now been linked to General Motors' faulty ignition switch problem. That's up from 21, according to a report from the program set up to compensate accident victims. More than 150 death claims have been submitted to the program since Friday. GM has now recalled 2.6 million cars related to the faulty ignition switch problem.
A consumer alert now. Harley-Davidson is voluntarily recalling 126,000 motorcycles over a problem with the clutch. The recall applies to certain model year 2014 touring bikes. Owners were sent a letter about the recall in the last week. Harley-Davidson says the clutch may not disengage and could cause a crash. The flaw is connected to 19 accidents, but none have caused serious injuries. Separately, they're recalling about 1,400 street bikes for a possible fuel tank leak. No injuries or accidents were reported. ATM fees surged this year, according to a new survey by Bankrate. Out-of-network fees jumped 5%, a new high. On average, customers were charged $4.35 per transaction. Bankrate reports those high fees kept most people from using them. ATM fees have skyrocketed 23% over the past 5 years. More hospitals are asking patients to settle their bills in advance. This is because Americans are shouldering a greater portion of their health care bills, and medical centers don't want to get stuck with patients who can't or won't pay. Traditionally, neither patients nor providers knew the exact price of procedures until after the insurer processed the charges. Well, now new technology is allowing hospitals to determine the patient's responsibility in advance of treatment. Patients can still opt to wait until after insurance. We are taking a short break. We'll be back after this.
Thanks for watching THV11.
Long hours, long days. Arkansas is agriculture. Tom Cotton's vote against the Farm Bill. You wonder if the guy's being influenced by outside interests.
And now we know. Disturbing revelations from a secret meeting between billionaires and Congressman Cotton. They praise him for opposing the Farm Bill, spend millions on his campaign as Cotton votes for their special tax breaks. We just can't trust Tom Cotton. Senate Majority PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
My name's Alyssa, and I drive a 2015 Hyundai Sonata. People always ask me what kind of car it is. They think it looks so good. I test drove the Camry, and the Sonata went hands down on the look and price alone. It helps me be a safer driver because it's got lane departure warning and blind spot detection. This is my third Hyundai. I've stuck with them for a while, and I'm going to keep doing so.
Now, lease a Sonata for $0 down and $265 a month. Visit buyhyundai.com.
Congratulations. Thank you. 23 years next month for us.
I got us some scratch-off tickets for the road.
Ooh, and he's still got it.
Lucky you.
Celebrating 5 years with the highest payout ever on a $10 instant game. The Arkansas Scholarship Lottery.
Do you want a Slurpee?
Patrick Henry Hayes is attacking me falsely to hide his own failed record. Here's the truth.
Hayes is not a job creator. He's a big government career politician. Hayes increased his government salary over 20 times and raised our taxes to pay for it.
Hayes spent big on taxpayer-funded travel to Europe, the Bahamas, and to Washington to help pass President Obama's agenda.
I'm French Hill, and I approve this message because we need a job creator in Congress, not another big government career politician.
Call it heads. It's tails.
We choose chicken tenders.
Now let's have a nice, clean shopping trip.
Friends. Football. Food.
First down.
Kroger can help you save on all the game day favorites you need to feed your home team.
Right now, boneless pork loin or spare ribs are $1.99 a pound, and Honeycrisp apples are also $1.99 a pound. Great food, low prices at Kroger.
In Arkansas, we're proud of our roots, but we choose our leaders to plan for our future. I'm Tim Griffin, and I believe we need to reform government so we can grow jobs and compete. It's the natural way to grow in the natural state. Let's reform our tax code, modernize workforce training, and stand up to Obama policies that hurt our economy. I'm Tim Griffin, and I'm asking for your support.
Tim Griffin, Lieutenant Governor.
Childhood obesity has increased dramatically in recent decades. Besides the social stigma, obesity also leads to a variety of health problems. So parents need to be aware of the long-term negative consequences. Little Rock Family editor Heather Bennett is here today to share some tips for parents to keep their kids' health from taking hits. Heather, thanks so much for joining us.
You're welcome.
So what are some things parents need to know?
Okay, first off, kind of take stock of your family behavior patterns and your family history. You know, if you have high cholesterol in your family, heart disease, things like that. And then second, consult with your healthcare provider or your pediatrician on some ideas of, behavioral modification, things to try at home, to try things differently. And number three, know the difference in helpful cholesterol and not helpful. There's HDL, which you can think of the H as helpful, and then LDL, which is kind of the lousy kind. Think of the L as lousy. And this is the cholesterol that leads to heart disease. It can clog the arteries and things like that. Number four, make those changes, new habits, try nutrition and exercise changes. That can do so much to help so that your child would not have high cholesterol or lead to diabetes or other health concerns. And then last but not least, if those behavioral changes don't help, then you need to work with your healthcare provider on medications and further testing and see if there's something else that you can try to help your child and help your family.
Okay, well, Heather, thanks so much for those great tips.
Thank you.
Keep it here. We'll be right back.
Mark Pryor's become part of the Washington establishment.
I don't think we're being represented.
We're losing jobs, especially manufacturing jobs. Yet Mark Pryor votes to increase taxes and increase regulations, and all it does is hurt.
I don't like that he voted against a balanced budget amendment.
We're spending this country into bankruptcy. We just can't keep on going like we are.
I can't spend money like that in my own household.
We vote for whoever we think will do the best job for the country and us.
I just don't think he's part of the solution.
NRSC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
It's all yours.
It's all ours.
We found the one.
Our piece of the dream.
Home sweet home.
Here to stay.
Permanent.
Rooted.
Residence.
Relocated. I've been relocated.
Packing up shop.
Headed out of Dodge.
Hitting the bricks.
Calling the bank.
A short-term world needs a long-term bank. For great rates and step-by-step guidance from one of the nation's top mortgage lenders, call on U.S. Bank.
Onward.
Upward.
When was the last time you felt free? Free of worry, free of fear, free of uncertainty. It's time to uncover that feeling again, because you are protected with the compassion of a cross that's been trusted for 65 years, the security of a shield accepted by over 90% of doctors and specialists, and the power of a card that opens doors in all 50 states, giving you the freedom to love, to dream, to dare to believe, to laugh, to dance like no one is watching. Arkansas Blue Cross and Blue Shield. Live fearless.
He led the response to some of the nation's worst disasters, respected by Republicans and Democrats alike. James Lee Witt, a former Yell County judge, he transformed emergency response here and around the country. A businessman who governments and corporations around the world turn to for advice. An Arkansan who still works the farm he grew up on.
Everybody that wants to work hard and to do better should have an opportunity to do better.
I'm James Lee Witt, and I approve this message.
Once again, we have team coverage tonight as the search for a missing real estate agent in Central Arkansas continues. The man police believe is responsible for the disappearance of Beverly Carter is in custody as of today.
And we have a reporter in Scott where that search is being conducted. Also, reporters looking into the background of Arron Lewis and his investigation.
We will have more coming up tonight on our 6 o'clock broadcast. And remember, you can follow us on our Facebook page, Twitter, and THV11.com for the very latest.
And there you will also find information on how social media has helped in this case.
Well, Facebook page was created surrounding the effort to find Beverly Carter. It's called Find Beverly Carter.
Those assisting in the search are also using the hashtag FindBeverly on both Twitter and Facebook.
First, though, we want to get a check of your final weather forecast with our chief meteorologist, Ed Buckner. Of course, more on all that coming up at 6.
Yeah, we'll have much more on that. As far as the weather goes, we're looking okay. We're looking very summer-like, though, to round out the month of September. It will cool down. The first weekend of October is looking just beautiful, folks. But until then, we're going to be warm, and then we're going to see some storms Thursday night and early Friday before things clear out. All in all, not a bad forecast.
Yeah, not too bad. All right. Thanks, Ed.
Thank you for watching THV 11 News at 5. We're back in 30 minutes. We hope to see you then. Good night.
Thanks for watching THV 11 News. Stay connected to the THV Information Center 24/7 on your mobile device and with the THV 11 app for your iPad.
Tonight, the White House security breach was worse than we knew. The intruder, armed with a knife, got deeper inside the executive mansion than the Secret Service first reported. Bill Plant has details. Holly Williams is on the front lines with Kurdish forces fighting ISIS terrorists in Syria.
Our cars just came under fire as we were driving along that road over there.
New guidelines on birth control. Dr. John LaPook tells us what pediatricians are now recommending for teenagers. And Mark Phillips on George Clooney, breaking his wedding vow.
For a guy who once said he'd never get married again, George Clooney did so with the kind of splash only Venice can provide.
This is the CBS Evening News with Scott Pelley.
Good evening. The most famous resident